Hi guys. Today we're going to go over chapter 9, section 6. And I think this section will be actually divided into 3 different parts. So today we are going to learn how to solve rational equations. And tomorrow and next Tuesday, when we come back from the long weekend, we're going to go over how to solve real world problem like weighted average or work problem and distance problem. So we're going to just work on those 3 types because those are very common type of word problems that you might see that could look very complicated, but it does involve a rational equation. And then the third part of this section would be solving inequalities. So today I wrote 6 different problems to hopefully help you how to solve these rational equations. So you know how I usually give you kind of like a bullet point and how to go over the problem. And so I think I could do my best, but again, when it comes to problem solving, it's actually the best when you just kind of start solving and see how you do it. But I think the first step definitely would be find LCD, which is the least common denominator. So think about how you can make a common denominator of all 3, right? But then instead of making a common denominator, you multiply LCD to all the different fractions to get rid of fraction. So that's what you're doing. You actually want to get rid of fraction. Okay? So let's look at this problem here. We need to find LCD first. So to do that, I'm going to do this one is 2 times 5. So my LCD in this case would be x plus 3 times 2, because 2 here, and then times 4. So 10 times x plus 3 would be my LCD. So what I do is I multiply that to this fraction, and that fraction. So when I multiply with the first one, x plus 3 cancels. So then it's a 2 times 10. And then the second fraction would be 3 times 5x plus 3, because the 2 cancels with the 2. And then this one would be 19x plus 3, because 10 cancels with the 10 at the bottom. So then let me simplify a little bit more. So it's 15 first, and then you distribute 15 to x and 3. And then this is 19x plus 57, I think. And then now you know how to do it, right? You solve for x. So let's combine this a little bit more to be 65. And then 19x plus 57. So let's move x to one side, and then I'm going to get rid of 65. And then I'm going to subtract 19x. So that's a negative 4x is equal to negative 8. And then divided by negative 4. So then x is 2. You would have finished here if it was a normal equation, but with a with a rational equation, you must check for your answer. Okay? So you're going to check for your answer. So I'm going to plug in 2 into my original equation to see if it makes sense. That's all I'm doing. I'm trying to make sure that it makes sense. So 2, because that's what my answer was. 3 over 2 and 19 over 10. So that's 2 over 5 plus 3 over 2. And if I make a common denominator, it's a 4 plus 5 times 3, which is 15. So it is true. So I checked the answer. My answer is x equal 2. So we're good to go. So let's again go over our steps. The first step was to find LCD. So this is 2 squared times 3. This is 12 times 4 times. So it's 2, 8, 4 times 3. So 16 times 3. So then LCD is 2 times 3 times x minus 4. But then I need to get the highest power. So 2 to the 4th power. So then we multiply this to here, here, and here. So 12 was 2 square and 3, so I still have 2 square and x minus 4 left, plus, and then this one is 9 times 2 to the 4th times 3, because x minus 4 cancels with that, and then 55 times x minus 4, because 2 to the 4th power times 3 is 48. So let's make this a little bit cleaner. So 28 x minus 4, and that is a big number I kind of need a calculator for. It's 9 times 48, right? So that is 432. And then 55x minus, I'm distributing, guys, 220. So let me distribute that part, the first part here, 228x minus 112 plus 432 equal 55x minus 220. So again, we only need to now solve for x. So let's do that. I'm going to combine negative 112 and 432. And then I will add 220 to both sides. That means I need to subtract 28x. So then the one side is 540 and the other side is 27x, I think. So then we divide both sides by 27. And that's 20. Again, we can't be just say x is 20. We need to make sure our answer is correct. So let's plug it in, x equal 20, to see if it is correct. 7 over 12, 9, 20 minus 4. Does that equal this? 7 over 12 plus 9 over 16. They can have a common denominator of 48. So then 327. Yep, they are correct. So then the answer is x equal 20, and we move on with our life to the next question. All right. This one is a little bit different because this 2 is 2 over 1, right? So we need to find LCD still. And so LCD would be 6 times y minus 2, okay? Because that is that's the least common. And then you multiply this to each of the fraction. So what's left is 6 for the first fraction. And then the 2 actually need everything because my denominator is 1, so nothing can get canceled. And then this one does have y minus 2. And then let's simplify. And then I'm just simplifying and distributing at the same time. Okay, because 2 times 6 is 12, so then 12 times y, and then 12 times negative 2. All right, so 12y plus 6, 30 minus 24 is 6, 17y minus 34. So I'll add 34, and then subtract 12y. So then 40 is 5y. Divided by 5. So y is 8. So let's check for our answer. I know checking part seems a little tedious, but you have a calculator too, so you can feel free to use calculator. Because it's just checking. You're just trying to make sure that it is the correct answer. There's a 5 over 4 plus 2, 17 over 6. Did I get 8 for y? Oh, so it's not 4, it's 2. I mean, it's 6. That makes more sense, right? So then it's 2 and 5 over 6. And it is 17 over 6, right? Because you can rewrite that, what's it called? That fraction into a mixed number. What do you call that fraction? I'm blanking. Okay, let's move on to this one. LCD, before we do LCD, we actually need to factor this one to be z minus 1 and z plus 1. I think on the quiz, you guys were able to actually capture that, so good job. You just need to know for sure that you can, when you feel like you can't factor any longer, you need to make sure that none of your factoring was a squared minus b squared. So then when we multiply that to each of the fraction, I end up having z minus 1 the first one, and then z plus 1, and then nothing for the third fraction because it did have z minus 1 and z plus 1. So let's distribute. And then z minus 3 equal negative 2. So then we just have to add 3 to both sides to get 1. Alright, let's check this to z equal 1. Oh, you can already tell that this is not going to work out, right? And I will show you, and I will tell you what I mean. This. What just happened? I have 2 zeros in the denominator, and denominator can never be 0. So this is actually no solution, even though you got a z value as 1. And once you actually plug it in, it doesn't work out. So you need to write this as a no solution. So this is why I guess checking your answer is very critical, because what if it's no solution, right?